Hi everyone. I wanted to speak about the Samay Raina and Ranveer Allahabadia's controversy that is going on right now. I actually haven't seen the show myself. I didn't see any of the episodes. I wasn't interested really, and only recently that I came across some of the reels that were popping out so much due to the whole fiasco that has happened. That is when I came to know about the format of the show. That it's actually a lot of dark humor, a lot of it's actually the roast comedy that they use. They roast everybody on the show, including the audience, the judges, the host, the contestants, whoever comes in the show, they get roasted, and they use a lot of profanity, they use a lot of abusive language, and they create negative scenarios and imagine negative scenarios, and they create humor around it, right? That is the whole thing about it. And in that process, some of the people who came there, Ranveer who came there, he said something very offensive. Exactly what he said now I'm not going to say because it's a lot of explaining to do, but you can see it online. If you don't know what exactly he said, you can check it out online to know exactly what he said, right? And the whole energy, the whole feel of the show is like that. It is dark and it is sort of gory also sometimes. It is dank humor, dank comedy is what they call it. They've created the whole show out of that. And anybody who is pulled into the show, anybody who's dragged into the show will definitely be coaxed to speak like that, to behave like that, even if he doesn't want to, even if in his normal setting at home or however, in his usual life, even if somebody is not behaving like that, you will end up behaving a little bit like that in an environment which is dark. That is how environments influence us. This is a classic example of how environments influence us and make us do things even a little bit out of our will sometimes, which normally we won't do. That is what I feel, because and somebody like Ranveer, who has built up his own career and has worked so hard to create a certain image, or build an empire with so many businesses. He has a lot at stake. He has a lot to lose, which maybe he forgot in that one weak moment of darkness, and he got carried away. You have to sound, as judges, you have to sound very cool, you have to sound savage, because the show is only like that. If somebody's sounding savage, you have to sound even more savage. You have to one up the other person and say something very outrageous, say something very, very crazy, so that you get the reaction from the audience, so that you get the reaction from everyone, right? That is how the format of the show only is. So that is when he also got carried away and he said something very outrageous, is what I feel. And for a person like that, when you have so much to lose, you have to be sort of careful, because it's not just that there are a lot of people outside, his enemies, or competition, the cross watchers. Everybody are just waiting for him to make one mistake. Everybody usually, as somebody who's a public figure, somebody who is shot to fame like in that manner, everybody is waiting for him to make one mistake, one slip, and that will get framed, that will be blown out of proportion. People are waiting for that. People are watching your every move. And when you make that small mistake, when you make that slip, it's not a small mistake. I know he shouldn't have said all of those things, but it's like once only he did, and things are being snatched away from him, right? So it is that kind of a thing, which is what I've learned from this whole example with this whole fiasco, that you have to sort of be very careful in the public eye, and about things you say, think about how you behave, because you never know who's watching and who will blow it out of proportion when you least expect it. These people were not expecting it at all, but it so happened. That is why I'm not going to talk about Ranveer so much, because I feel like he was pulled into this whole thing. He was brought in as a judge and he slipped. He made a mistake. That's why he and the others, I'm not going to talk about him so much. But for Samay Raina's case, now this fellow, he has been a comedian since a few years now, and he's really shot to fame very fast. I didn't know about him also. I just got to know about him recently because everybody was calling him a genius, that he's really shot to fame with his, some strategies that he's pulled in. Now he has a lot of followers, more than his seniors, even like all of his seniors followers put together also won't match up to him. And I was going through his journey as to what did he do exactly, to become that sort, to become that kind of a star in his field. And he basically used a lot of dark humor. Dark humor was his strategy to shoot to fame, to get in the views. Initially, he was doing regular comedy, like normal comedy. But at some point, he decided to do dark more because that is what was getting in the views. And dark humor, how does it work now? It's like you will say something completely outrageous, something which is very shocking, which will make anybody feel that how can he say that? How could he say that? How can anybody speak like this? And that shock factor will be there for people, and slowly the humor will follow. That is how they use this format of comedy. It's like saying something very, very horrific, very, very outrageous. And it takes a lot to shock me, okay? It takes a lot to surprise me, but when I saw some of his clips, even I was surprised, even I was shocked. I was like, what the hell is he saying? I mean, he shouldn't say these kind of things, because he is going on making fun of handicapped people, blind people, poor people, day in and out, day and night. He is making fun of poor people dying, poor children dying, getting cut under a train, this, that, and all kinds of very weird stuff, which is basically mocking someone's misery, laughing at someone's misery, which is unacceptable, right? But he made it acceptable. He slowly started saying these kind of things day in and out. And what does it do to a common man like that? Like a person like me or you, who will never laugh at something like this. First 2 days, we will not laugh. We will find it outrageous. And the third day, the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh day, when we see it, we will also find it normal. We will normalize it. Them normalizing it makes us normalizing it. Right? Then we'll also start laughing about it. And we'll end up finally making him our idol. And we'll also do the same thing. Most of this kind of comedy, the people who are watching, is all directed at mass. It's all the mass that is watching, who are completely at the base level, ground level, who won't be using their judgment much, who won't be using their discernment. They will do whatever their idol is doing, whatever their influencer is saying, and they will copy it as it is. It's like monkey do, monkey see kind of thing. I'm not calling them monkeys, but it's actually like that. They will not think much, and they will follow that. And Samay Raina's case, I feel like, see, from the 5D perspective, I also look at things from the 5D, analyze things from the 5D, not just from the 3D. When you are doing that, you're putting a seed, a small seed of evil in someone's soul, in someone's heart, that, okay, it's okay to laugh at someone's misery. Do what I'm doing. Do it like me. It's all right. If you're laughing, it's all right. So putting a seed of evil in people's heart, and millions of people are watching online and in his live shows. So it's like you're generating a lot of negative karma. You're generating a lot of negative karma. Millions of, people, and it's happening day in and night, day in and day night, right? So you're piling up. The negative karma is piled up so much at a point where it has to now topple. It has toppled, that's why. And whatever has happened to him, I feel like it's nobody's fault but his own doing. It is his own karma. It is his own destruction that he has called in. He's sort of called in this destruction. Whatever is happening to him right now, he's manifested that because of his own actions. And he's not also realizing how it happened. Because it's like, from the 5D perspective, if you see, it's like, the devil giving you bait that, okay, I'll give you the followers, I'll make you the top comedian of the country, I'll give you all the membership and everything, fame and money, etc. But slowly start spreading the evil. Do that slowly and you'll get everything. And he got everything. He got all of that. But what happened? After the job was done, the devil is not going to protect you. The devil is going to take you top in the sky and then drop you from there and leave you to die. Okay, that is what the devil does. They will never protect you. They'll get your job done, they'll get the work done, and then use you and throw you, basically. That is what has done. This is a classic example of Samay Raina's thing. And he also, I don't think he's realized it himself, what has happened. He was just being used as a vessel by the negative energy, by the evil. Because slowly the evil was really spreading through this particular show. It was really catching. Evil catches up faster than good. Mind it, remember that always. Good will always take time to catch up. Evil will catch up very fast. The way his show was progressing, the way people were watching it, people were all addicted to it, addicted to the darkness, addicted to the dark humor. That is why it had to be stopped, is what I feel. It's like universal justice, where, the show came crashing down and every episode had to be deleted. And now, whatever he was doing, the way he was laughing, the way he was mocking people, the way he was spreading negativity, that same negativity has come back to him from people. The same way people are laughing at him now and sending him death threats and FIRs and whatnot, like a million other things. Right? So that is what I feel like, you can, I'm not saying you can't do all that. You can laugh. You can make dark jokes. Do whatever you want. But there will be consequences. Just remember that. There will be consequences. Whatever you give out, that is what you will pull in back from the universe. And fundamentally, I feel it wrong because fundamentally and morally, I find it wrong to laugh at someone's misery. I mean, a little bit here and there is okay. Some 1 or 2 roast shows doing that is okay. But completely doing that all the time for years now and building on that as your success strategy, making that your, game plan to become big, that is not going to go on forever. That is definitely going to come crashing down at some point. And that is what has happened. So, and I will say that, a lot of these comedians, these new age comedians, like there's another person called Harsh Gujral. I again found him also online. And I will put up a link in the description that you can check out by Dhruv Rathi, where he's showing exactly how the common people are harassing Russian women, Russian tourists who come and visit India, how they are harassing that just because of one joke. He had this punchline about saying some 6,000 for Russian women, Russian girls, 6,000 mein Russian mil jati hai. Something like that he had said. And it was a punchline, it was a joke that he had started using in every show and had become a common thing, which now again the masses were picking up and they were using it in their real life. They were going and propositioning women, Russian women, and asking them for 6K and stuff. Random like Russian, tourists and Russian women who are here to work or who are here to visit the country, etc. That's like very sad, right? And that has happened. Why? Because of one joke, which got normalized, which got, it reached the masses. So I don't think, dark joke should be promoted in that way, because the kind of, people really take it to heart. People really internalize it and use it in their real life. So which is why when you have the power to reach 1 million people, 10 million people, why not use it in the right way and send across a good message instead of using dark humor or, laughing at death or laughing at somebody's big time misery. It's very wrong in a very fundamental way is what I feel, which is why I don't support the whole thing, which is why I also feel that there is no need for any legal trial. There is no need for jailing or fining, etc. Whatever is happening to them, to their career, that itself is a trial. That itself is universal judgment. Whatever they are receiving from people, that is what will teach them a lesson. And I'm sure like this other fellow, Allahabadia, he is repenting big time right now. He knows he did something terribly wrong and everything has stopped. His work has completely stopped now. But just because of that one mistake, had he not slipped, had he not maybe gone to the show even if a saint is called to that show, even they might feel and act out of character. It is that kind of a thing. That's why it is your own intelligence, your own decision making as to should you go to a show like that when you're invited. Should you participate in things like that? Because you never know, you might act out of character, you might say something, because our environments and our company influences us big time. And that is what I wanted to say. And also I wanted to say that, there are so many other things we can do to look cool. We don't really have to laugh at people and laugh at poor people, laugh at handicapped people, for Christ's sake, to look cool, to sound cool. That is really uncool, bro. So that is what I wanted to say. And all these things that I'm saying are very much from the energetic and the karmic point of view, which I'm analyzing from the other dimensions as well. So that is what I wanted to say. Let me know, guys, what you think, and have a great week.